Assalamu alaikum and welcome to day 30 of our How to Read Quran series, a program on the Quranology Institute's YouTube channel. Today may be the 30th day of Ramadan, or more likely the first day of Eid. Every year we go through the same rigmarole. We have to look and sight the moon, we can't plan ahead because we have to wait for the religious authorities to get their stuff together. And this is really unfortunate because it is an example of the title of today's program, How Not to Read Quran. If it is the first day of Eid, then Salamat Hari Raya or Eid Mubarak to you, and I hope you have a nice day. If you are a Muslim, I hope you have time to be with your family. And if you're not Muslim, I hope you visit your Muslim friends because the food will be awesome and you can have a wonderful time with your friends and great food, etc. Today, as you can see, I've shaved off bits of my beard, leaving this particular pattern. And this pattern is a homage to one of the greatest villains in Hindi film history, Gabbar Singh, played by Amjad Khan. Now, growing up, this guy was super scary. I mean, he chopped off Sanjeev Kumar's arms, and that was very, very scary. Thakur Saab's arms, to be exact. And the reason I have this design is because today, after 29 days of telling you how to read Quran, today I have to be a villain of sorts and tell you how not to read Quran. Because for every light, there is a darkness. And in this darkness, we do need to understand that this darkness has its use. We need to learn how to stay away from it. So, on to the main part. How not to read Quran. Firstly, do not read Quran as history. Maybe a surprise to many of you. But Quran, it asserts itself not as a book of history. Chapter 83, verse 13, it says that those who conceal its truth, we're not talking infidels, etc. Those who conceal it say, these are stories of the ancients. Asatirul awwaleen. No, that's not good. Quran asserts that its stories are tafsil kulli shay, a detailing of everything. Everything we need to know for deen, it's there. But some people who conceal, they say, no, stories of the ancient. Quran also says that in Kitab, the system of God is our mentioning. Chapter 21, verse 10. Fihi dhikrukum. In it is your mentioning or your eminence. So it's for us. It's for our application today. Secondly, reading out of context. The best example of this is وَمَا أَتَاكُمْ رَسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ رَسُولُ فَانْتَهُوا. Meaning, whatever the message and whatever the messenger gives you, take it, and whatever the messenger denies you, stay away from it. That's not even half a verse. In the beginning of that, there's the talk about fa'i. At the end of that, there's also more verse. So why quote only a portion of the verse like that? Is that an academic way of reading Quran? Absolutely not. That is how not to read Quran. The least you can do is to read full verse, and if not the passage, if not the entire chapter. So you see, that is another way how not to read Quran. Another thing to avoid is to see Quran as a religious book. Now, Quran has some religious pertinence, meaning, it talks about God and it talks about righteous living. Religion also does that. But it is not a book of rites and rituals. It does not tell you how to perform rites and rituals. Rather, it gives you tools of understanding. So, whatever rites and rituals you want to perform, those are cultural. And you may perform them, they may help you, but they are not what Quran is about. You see? So what you need to do is to remove any particular lens. I say any lens, not just religion, any lens, remove it, and you will be able to see Quran better. So another one not to do is to read Quran as a book of religion. It is not a book of religion. And further to that, it is not a book of dogma. It does not tell you believe this, that, and the other, and you will go to heaven. No, you have to work at it. So that's another thing which you need to think of. Quran is not a book of theory. It is a book of application. You can see the application today. And it actually tells you how to connect to it in order to gain trust in it. My favorite verse of all time probably, chapter 41, verse 53, which says, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْأَفَاقِ وَفِي الْأَنفُسِهِمْ حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقِّ. Soon we will show them our signs in the horizon and in themselves until it is clear to them that this is the truth and your Lord suffices as a witness. Powerful, powerful stuff. And that is how we should read Quran, not to like say, okay, well, here's the dogma. You believe in this book, you don't believe, you're a kafir. That's not what Quran is about. Quran is a workbook. It is not a book of theory. So that's another how not to read Quran as a book of theory. Another thing is using Quran as your emblem. You know, if you've seen in jails, I saw this when I was very young. I was a teenager when I saw this. The Ikhwanul Muslimun, they hold Quran up. And, you know, they wanted to get out of jail, obviously. I mean, I think at the time Hosni Mubarak was the president and they wanted to get out of jail. And they held the Quran up like that. Strangely, they don't apply Quran. Quran is simply an emblem. That is why chapter 25 verse 30 says, Rabbi inna qawmi attakhidhu hadha al-Qur'ana mahjura. They have taken the Quran, they have taken it as something to be abandoned. Why? Because we use Quran as an emblem, an artifact, even an idol. That is the final how not to use Quran. It's not meant to be on your top shelf. It's not meant to be sang. It's meant to be read. Read it in your own language, in a translation, but be critical of that translation. Always question the original meanings, because even Arabs discuss the meanings. Don't assume that because you're an Arab you know the meaning. That is also not true. So you should not see it as an emblem or an artifact. It's not something you place, you know, at wedding ceremonies, you place it on that board, the rihal board as they call it, and that is the presence of Quran in your life. Or have competitions where people sing the Quran and you tell them, oh, these are variant ways of singing it. Oh my God, that is not what Quran is for. It is a book about human life. And that is what that's what you should look for. Remove all other lenses. So many thanks for those who have been following this series. And today will probably be the first day of Eid, in which case have a happy day no matter what your faith is. And I hope to continue this series, albeit less frequently. I can't afford to do it every day. And I will keep adding to my notes, because this series is meant to result in a book. And the book, it will be called Quran and the Reader, Internal Principles towards Achieving Quranic Existence. Many thanks again for your viewership, and I hope you will keep your comments and criticisms coming.